right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Patriot Specialized. Today's episode, I'm back to my normal routine. Today, you're gonna see, we're gonna talk about, we're gonna get this Canada trip finished up. I'm gonna go back to the normal stuff. We're gonna talk about, we're gonna give you a little update on Daniel. I got some video footage from my brother's dash cam that's just gonna blow your mind on how crazy people can be. And we're gonna cover scheduling this week, so stick around, lots to cover.
We ride across these plains and prairies, rocky mountain highs, fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white line, steel horses.
Thanks for tuning in today. This episode here, we got a few things I want to talk about. First off, we got our Canada trip finalized. Finally got done with that. That's been a 2-week venture. We finally got the return load delivered. Got that delivered today. Got that done this morning. I booked a load yesterday. I spent a bunch of time yesterday looking for loads and trying to find something to get out of my delivery and get back up north. What I ended up finding was a Komatsu 380 wheel loader, brand new, out of Newberry, South Carolina, going up to Hatfield, Pennsylvania. So that's what I currently got on. You're going to see a little bit of footage of that here in a minute. But first off, anybody that was watching the Canada trip on the last episode of the Canada trip, on the return load, I talked about Daniel and the situation with his truck, and I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of update. I know I've got a couple questions and people are wondering. So Daniel's truck is still in New York. He flew home on Saturday. They were trying to, they weren't sure what was going on with it. They threw a couple parts at it, trying to see if that was it, and it didn't seem like it fixed the problem. And apparently today, on Wednesday, he finally got a phone call about 4 o'clock this afternoon that said they think they got it worked out, and it seems to not be doing what it was doing. So in the end, he's got a pretty good investment involved, not as bad as we thought it was going to be, but he got a whole bunch of new parts on his truck. So that I think in the end it's going to work out. I think he's flying back up there the end of this week. He's going to grab his truck and bring the return load back down next week. So seemed like it's all going to work out in the end. Congratulations, Daniel, for getting back to work, and I appreciate the content that you've created for my channel. You got a lot of people asking questions about how you were doing and what was going on with your truck. So there you go. There's the answer. Daniel's truck is done. They say it's running great, and he'll be back in it next week and back on the boards doing what he does. So there's your update on Daniel. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was my brother sent me a video from his dash cam, and I think it's worth bringing up on the channel, and I think it's worth some people seeing, and we'll see how people react to it. But this is something that we seem to run into more and more lately, that I just don't understand, and I'm confused on what happens. But I want you guys to see the video of what what could have been a major disaster. What we're going to see here in a second is my brother's trucking down. I believe he was on Route 80. I can't remember exactly where he was, but I believe he was on Route 80 in Pennsylvania. And he's coming across, running about 70 mile an hour or so across the highway, just trucking along, doing his thing. And there was a tanker truck that was on the berm on the left side, stopped with its 4-ways on. And as Keith is approaching this thing, this tanker truck moves out. So Keith's in the left-hand lane, cruising along about 70 mile an hour. This tanker truck moves out kind of far in front of him. So Keith moves over to the right lane because he thinks, the guy's going to come out and just get up to speed and then get moving. And so Keith moves over to the right lane. He's coming on fast, and there's also a car involved here that was in front of Keith. And this this tanker truck, which was full of gasoline, dives across all 3 lanes to get to an exit right in front of him. And I gotta say, kudos to Keith, and this video will show you a little bit of some very good driving skills, some very good reaction time, and it's a great depiction of a driver that's paying attention to surroundings and seeing what's going on, because this could have absolutely been a disaster for everybody involved. I'm certain that I would no longer be able to, I don't think we'd be having this conversation about him had he not been able to avoid this accident the way he was. So I can't stress how severe that this situation could have turned into, how bad this could have been. But again, I want to say kudos to Keith for avoiding the possible disaster here, and it's just some incredible driving skills, man. Some incredible. So that being said, here's the video, and we will see you right when it's done. All right, so now you've seen the video. That I don't even know what to say. I don't, honestly, I don't know. Man, this could have been so bad on so many levels. So my point bringing it up on the channel and showing you guys that is, the majority of the people that watch my channel are truck drivers, and you know truck drivers, and you're friends with truck drivers, and those people are friends with other truck drivers, and there's just, you know, it just spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads for the amount of contact that we can make. And I would like everybody to take a minute, talk to the people that they're friends with. And you know, you don't think that your friends or your drivers that you know would do something like that, and I certainly don't think that, but please show them that video and let them see that this is crazy, the things that people are doing. And we as drivers, we need to pay attention to what we're doing. That tanker driver, he absolutely needed to just pay attention to what he was doing. Well, either he missed his exit and he slowed down so he could get on the exit. That would be him not paying attention to where his surroundings and what he was doing, and he could have made his exit without having to do that maneuver that he did. Maybe he was broke down, needed to get off that exit to get a repair. I don't know what the situation was, and it really doesn't matter what the situation. Diving across 3 lanes of traffic is just not with any sort of traffic coming. You know, you need to look in his mirror. Like, it just, so we as drivers, we need to help each other out. We need to focus a little bit more on paying attention to our surroundings, and thank God Keith was paying attention the way he was, and he was able to avoid that accident. But he didn't think it was going to. He thought for sure that he was going to hit that thing. So there you go. I'm interested to see everybody's comments, see what you think of that video. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. It scares me. The people that we have out here on the road and making choices like that. That was a choice that guy made. I don't know why why this guy made that choice, but it was a choice that he made, and it was a very poor one. So that being said, on to the rest of this video. So we got our delivery made this morning. I booked this load, this komatsu wheel loader, out of Newberry, South Carolina, going up to Hatfield, Pennsylvania, and I'm not gonna be able to show the securement on it tonight, but tomorrow morning when I get up and I'm doing my pre-trip, I'm planning on walking around with the camera and I'll show you securement and cover the load. This one's a little bit tricky for me because I'm no longer on 6 axles. I took my flip off to run that Canada load, and I haven't got it put back on yet. So this was a little bit tricky. We'll talk about securement as well as placement, and we will talk to you in a second. Hope everybody has a good night. I will see you guys in the morning. Do, but I kind of wanted to put it on here just so you guys see it. I'm going to cover securement. It is surface of the sun hot out here right now, and I'm sweating like crazy. So I'm not going to cover securement right now at the shipper, but I will cover it tonight when it gets a little bit cooler and I get stopped. So, but I did want to show you this, and I also wanted to get it on the video because I think it might come into play later. Apparently, I've been here. I got here at 10:45, had a 1 o'clock appointment. They got me loaded about 4:20. So, and apparently the reason I was here that long was because they had to replace the oil pump on this unit. There was something that was cracked or something. So this may come into play. I'm currently at the shipper, haven't left yet. This thing is leaking oil somewhere up in here. I mentioned it to the guy that loaded me, and he said that it's probably just residue coming down from when they had to replace it. Probably right, not sure, but I just wanted that noted on here and try to take care of ourselves. This is important for you guys to remember when you're doing stuff like this and you see something like this with oil leaking on a brand new unit. Probably should get some proof of it, and it wasn't your fault. So that's what I'm doing right now. To make it pretty clear that I'm still in the parking lot, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Woo, it's hot. Morning. Thursday morning. Got up, went inside, did my thing, came out, checked my fluids on my truck. Now we're gonna do a little pre-trip. I figure I'll show you the securement. We'll talk about placement while I'm doing that. Here we go. Lights are working on the front. Check these tires. They're good. They're working. Check our securement. Flag still there. Turn signal's working. There we go. Oh, that one's a little loose. There we go. That's good. Tires are good. Still got these spare tires up here from when we went to Canada. Lights are working on the back of the trailer. Beautiful, beautiful. Same thing over here. Tires are good. Chain's still tight. All right, all right. Oh, look at that. That strap holding my tires up there on the deck shook itself loose. I'll fix that here in a minute. So here's what we got. Here's our baby. Our lights up on top are working. Turn signal. They're all solid. All right, there's our baby right there. Komatsu 380 WA wheel loader. Weighs about 38,000 pounds, they tell me. So on 5 axles, it wasn't a big deal. A little bit different than on 6, but on 5 axles, still, we're almost legal. I don't have an empty weight on this thing without the flip on it, so I'm not sure, but I'm 42.5 or so with the flip. Flip probably weighs about 2,500 pounds, somewhere in that, maybe 3,000 pounds. So I'm probably somewhere in the 39 to 40,000 pound range empty. So might actually be legal with this thing. Didn't get a chance to scale it yet. I might before I hit the Roanoke scale, but this is what I got for securement. They put these, I like this, how they do this. Komatsu puts in this system here for the fender that you just pull on it. Let's see if I can do this with. And the whole fender just moves out of the way. That's pretty nice. Makes it real nice for securement. There's our securement point right in there. Ran securement, brought it right down to, took a chain, brought it right down to the trailer. That thing just latches back in, then you hook that, flip it back over, and you're good. So we hooked on that, came down to this side, you get half credit for that chain. Did the same thing on that side. So half credit for both of those. That's 6,500 pounds of securement. I did this basically the same thing on the back, except I extra crossed. There's your tie down points right there. I X down to the trailer. Half credit for both of those chains, so that's 13,000 pounds of securement right there. And you got these two chains here. I put these on in the center. Even though I did put the locking bar in, we talked about this on several episodes, you gotta have this locking bar or chain it. This one I happened to do both just because I needed the extra chains for the weight of the load. But put a chain on both sides here, pull them forward and backwards. These chains go all the way across, so we get full credit for those. So that's another 13,000 pounds right there. So with all of these chains, the 2 on the back, 2 on the front, and then which I get half credit for those, that's 13,000 pounds of securement. Got the 2 in the middle, that's also another 13,000 pounds of securement. So got 20 26,000 pounds of securement on a load that's, we're going to call it 40,000 pounds, so we only needed 20. So we're good. Good on securement, weight-wise. All the chains look good. Everything looks good. We got our turbo saver up there. Exhaust is facing backwards, so wind's going to go right in it. Put our turbo saver on there to keep that thing from being an issue. So, well, that's all right. Placement on this thing, I put it all the way back because I had her throw some extra weight on the trailer axles. I permitted for a little bit of weight because I wasn't 100% sure what my empty weight was, so I permitted for 85,000 just to be 100% sure that we were covered. And I had her put that extra weight, the extra 5,000 pounds back here on the trailer. So I needed to get the weight shifted back to the trailer axles and not on the drives, because I'm only permitted for 34,000 on my drives, but I'm permitted a little bit heavier than that, 19.5 I think on each trailer axle. So I wanted to get the weight back there. That's why I put it all the way to the back. I ran it all the way to the back, almost to the step, and then I had him back up a little bit just to where the front end loader was gonna touch the trailer, and so I could still get my securement put in there. So pretty straightforward load, seen them about 100 times. A little bit tricky today. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna get these tires locked back in, get the strap put back on there that came loose, and we'll talk about what I got going on here. This is I love pressure. Another day of pressure. All right, so got those spare tires fixed. The strap holding them down, got it all fixed, and it wiggled around a little bit. So got that done. Took care of my pre-trip and my logbook. And what's going on here, because of yesterday, you heard me say a little bit earlier in the video when I was at the customer that I got there at 10:45 in the morning. They didn't get me loaded till about 4:30, so I made it to the total trip on this is about 11 hours, and had they loaded me in the afternoon, I would have been sitting right up against my delivery this morning. Been maybe a couple hours away. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and with darkness being as early as it was, with the causing curfew, I had to stop at dark last night. So I made it to Wytheville. I pushed the envelope a little bit with dark. Made it to Wytheville, Virginia last night. Got parked, and that put me to where I got stopped about 9 o'clock last night, and I can't leave here till right about now. So I think my logbook reset about 10-12 minutes ago. So what this has done, and what I'm up against today, and you know me, I love pressure. So what I'm up against today is the customer it looks like I'm 7 hours and 8 minutes away from my delivery, and customer goes home at 3 o'clock. So we're gonna see what happens here. We're gonna see if we make it. Stick around.